Hello. I could eat about 1.5 million of these.
Well, nobody's perfect.
Welcome to the It's a Drama podcast.
Daddy, I love him.
My mother thanks you.
If you can't say something nice.
All right, Mr. DeMille, I'm ready for my close-up.
Hello and welcome to It's a Drama podcast. I am Liz.
And I'm Sunny.
You were just about to take a drink then.
Yeah, because I thought you were going to do your From It's a Drama travel blog thing.
And today we are going to talk about India, my favourite place of all time. Mm-hmm. And the reason we are going to talk about that is a sort of theme carrying on from last week's about couch surfing and saving money.
Yeah.
But do you know why I really want to talk about India, apart from the fact that I love it more than any place on earth? Is because so many people said to us, oh, you're going to hate India. Oh, don't go to India. The kids will hate India. They won't like it. And I'm here to put the record straight, actually, Sunny. Mm-hmm. I really want to put the record straight.
On your behalf or on our behalf?
Well, let's just see, shall we? So when we decided to go around the world a year ago, we had a list of places, and so many people said to me, oh, you won't like India.
Even though India was probably top of your list of the places you wanted to go.
It was.
Wasn't it? Because didn't you see something like Arrival of the Queen of Sheba or something like that? Or some Slumdog Millionaire or some Indian film ages ago, and you always thought, I really want to go to India.
Yeah, what was that film?
It was a film. It's an older film that you watched. But you always said to me that's why you wanted to go to India. Was because of that film.
I'm trying to think what that film was. I don't know. No, it wasn't anything like that. It was a beautiful film that showed India just for its colours. Anyway, and I just always had it in my mind. And also, I think you get to an age, Sonny, you won't know this because you're only a young little spratling, but you get to an age when you're a lady and you think, I want to go and find myself in India. Pardon?
A woman.
Yes, a real woman. And you think, I want to go and find myself in India, regardless of the fact that I'm dragging the two teenagers behind me. Mm-hmm. And,
standing on a rock, with your shawl and your hair blowing in the breeze.
Yeah.
Looking like Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah. Or what's the other one that I really like? Pretty Woman actress. What's she called? Julia Roberts. Yeah, Julia Roberts.
That's something you always say on your blogs. I want to look like Julia Roberts in India.
Because she did that film Eat, Pray, Love or whatever it was called when she went there. Anyway, so let's get on to it then. Mm-hmm. Not sure how we're going to do this because we're, as usual, we are totally disorganised and
That's sometimes the best way to do it. Sometimes you get magic when you wing things. So hopefully that happens.
So can I just ask you, Sunny, what was your preconceived idea of India?
Because I'd never been there. I've been there now. I'd never been there. It was very much how India is portrayed on social media, which is not in the best light,
Really?
Especially by the Westerners, is they seem to think that India is this really dirty, disgusting place, and even though they seem to love Indian food. But on social media, there's a lot of like memes and stuff, especially surrounding the top YouTuber PewDiePie, as he was had a subscriber.
Is he Indian?
No, he's not. He's English. He was having it. Well, he's Swedish, but he was having a subscriber war with the second biggest YouTube channel, which is now the biggest, which is T-Series, which is basically the YouTube channel for India and all the Bollywood music. So it was a lot of insults and derogatory stuff towards Indians that was coming out of that thing. And at the time, we hadn't been to India, so that I was very much like, I wonder if it's all these things that all these things were saying it is, and of course it wasn't.
Why do you reckon that is, though? Why do you reckon that they target India?
It's the same way. I suppose it's just fear of the unknown. Not many people have been to India in the Western world, So they just make assumptions, and then. I suppose it's just not knowing what is actually there and what a beautiful place it is. Obviously, like anywhere else, it's got its downs, but so does New York City and Los Angeles and
exactly,
Paris, everywhere.
Well, not Paris, obviously.
Well, no, Paris can't really beat Paris.
No.
But yeah, I think that's what it is. It's a lot of they don't understand what it's actually like, and they don't understand the culture.
Well, to be honest, I'm not going to profess to know everything about the Indian culture because we only spent 7 weeks there. But
yeah, and there's something like many places to visit. It's a huge country.
Yeah. We just scratched the surface, didn't we? But
probably not even that.
No. But I think I just want to, if you're going to go travelling, if you're going to go travelling with your kids, or even if you're going to go travelling, please don't ignore India. Please don't go on YouTube.
Don't be too scared.
Yeah. Right, okay, so let's start with the scared things then. And I don't know, and I know once I wrote this answer on Quora and I got all this hate mail saying, you don't know anything about the women that are getting raped and all this. I don't know anything about that. I hold my hands up. I'm sorry, I'm ignorant
This
about
is just
that.
our experience of what we have.
Yes, exactly. And I'm not here to tell you anything political about India. I'm just telling you what our experience as a family of 4 spending 7 weeks backpacking around India was like. That's it, isn't it?
Yeah.
It was bloody brilliant.
Yes, it was, yeah.
Bloody loved it, didn't we?
You did, yeah.
I was going to say, didn't I? But then I quickly checked. I went, didn't why? Didn't why, Sonny?
Me and my sister had what we called a love-hate relationship with India. So you love it some days, and then, it's like, oh, I've got to get out other days. But I don't know if that was because it was one of the first countries we visited, because it's probably the same with Sri Lanka. Died down a little bit in Thailand, Vietnam, and Japan, because we were getting more into the swing of things. But, like you say, I've never been to a city like, Jodhpur and Jaipur. I probably won't ever go to another one like it.
Oh, you will.
Flying, I know it was illegal to fly drones, but we are bad people, and we flew our drones over the city.
We didn't know it was illegal.
No, we didn't. And I've never seen a drone shot quite like it, So it was just, it's like moments like that where you think, oh, I'd like to go back and just see that again.
So, sorry to interrupt you. I could see your little eyes glazing over there, then thinking about your drone, but just going back to let's just start with the people, right? First of all, because that's what a lot of people said to me. They're like, oh, the Indian men, no, and all this, and Right. So here's the thing, and I still don't know whether it's because we were a family.
Yeah.
And I think when you travel as a family, it's the best because you feel so safe, don't you?
Yeah, safety in numbers.
You do, and also you just feel like you're a little unit, and you sort of imagine like this little, I don't know, like this little jelly walking around everywhere, sticking together. Yeah, but that's what it reminds me of, and it's like no one could get into our little jelly, it's
like magnets.
Pardon?
Like a ball of magnets.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And so there was not, you might correct me, but I never, in the whole 7 weeks that I was there, felt unsafe. No. Not once. And I wasn't with you all the time. I remember when we were in Gokana. Yep. Which is just down, it was near Goa, and you all left me. I think you were going off to buy my birthday present. Mm-hmm. And I said, I'll go for a walk on my own then. And I got my backpack and I just trotted off, with my little feet, and went for a walk around the village, and I went and sat on the beach in Gokana. Yeah. And it was so funny because I sat on the beach. I thought, a little bit of peace and quiet away from the kids and Brian and everything. And, I went and sat on the beach. And I was just surrounded by all these families just came up to me and said, selfie? Do you remember? I told you.
That was a big thing, was selfie with tourists. It's like a big Indian thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's... I didn't know anything about it before, and I haven't really looked into it afterwards, but it was a big thing, wasn't it?
It was.
Especially at the Taj Mahal, was... you got asked for a lot of selfies.
Yeah. But I felt safe all the time. I never felt like when I went out I never felt that we were under threat. And I had my daughter with me, 14-year-old daughter.
Well, that's the thing. I was just thinking about it. I think Tessa got whistled at once.
Did she?
And beckoned at. But then
where was that in India?
It was in the big city, so Agra. I think it was in Agra. Yeah. She got whistled at and beckoned at. But then I thought about it, and I remember standing in New York, in the middle of New York City, and a girl jogged past us, and the guy on the floor, I think he was either homeless or he's just sitting on the floor. He looked up at her and went, "Damn, girl, let me run with you." So, it's like, it happens all over the world. It's not exclusive to India.
She say?
She kept running.
Did she?
Yeah.
She didn't run back to him?
And go, "No, yeah, come run with me." But no, so that was the only time I can think that Tessa was ever maybe felt a little bit unsafe, but it never happened to anyone else.
And also, she's blonde. She's got lovely long blonde hair, and I think just that was the only thing. Is like the people, like Indian guys, do stare a lot, don't they? Yeah. They're like, I'm doing like a staring face. Yeah. Like they're staring, and I do actually remember at a railway station coming in between because it was like these 3 guys, and they were just staring at Tessa.
Yeah, but you would stare at something, someone that you'd never. seen like that before. I know there's a lot of tourists in India, but you don't know the backstory of those men. They might have grown up in a village all their life and then come to a big city, and it's I don't know. But then again, you think about it, you do stare when you see I've got to be politically careful, but Muslims in the full black dresses.
Yeah.
You stare at
It's
them.
intriguing, isn't it?
You're like,
Yeah.
wow, what's that culture?
Ooh,
What
how can she see
what are
out
they
that
doing?
little thing in her eyes because you don't know.
Yeah, I suppose it's the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
It's just everyone there. I don't know how many millions of people there. I think billions, isn't it, in India? 1.2 billion people. Probably like 1% are tourists. You're going to stare at something that's different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so I didn't. We can just mark that straight off. If you're thinking of not going to India because you don't feel safe, and if you're going as a family, I can't talk about what it would be like if you were just going as a young girl backpacking on your own. I don't know, but as a family,
Tell you, the only time we felt unsafe in India was not for the sake of us. It was for the sake of the taxi driver that got pulled over because he had me in the front of his tuk-tuk.
Oh, yeah.
And they said, we'll take your license off if you don't bring us this money by this time.
Yeah.
And that's the only time I felt unsafe, was because I thought, well, that's a bit corrupt, It's
Yeah.
a bit scary. But that, it wasn't even about us, it was about the taxi driver. I just felt scared for him, because the police over in India can be quite intimidating, can't they? I don't know if that's because you don't speak the language and they'll shout at you in a different language, but, it is quite, scary.
I also found as well that when Indian people talk to each other, not so much the women, but they'll shout at each other as sort of, and you think, oh, are they having an argument? But actually, they're just having a conversation. That took me back a little bit, because it was almost like, oh God, are they going to kick off?
Yeah.
But they weren't. They were just sort of like shout.
Enthusiastic conversation, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah, just like raising your
different
voice and
inflections
stuff. Yeah. They're flipping nosy though, the Indians. They
Yes,
are,
they are, yeah.
aren't they?
I think it's because it's a very family-based culture. Like, I'm saying this, I don't come at me with it, this is what I found, was it's very family-based culture. So I think everyone grows up very close.
Yeah.
And especially having houses in such close proximity, going to those cities, it's houses within houses and houses.
Yeah.
So
Just
I think
loads and loads of people in the same room.
I don't think it was nosy. I think it was just that it's normal to be very close, because there's so many people. It's normal to be very close and in other people's business.
But we wouldn't dream of going. If we saw an Indian person in Auckland, we wouldn't dream of.
I wouldn't go up to them and go,
say,
"Can I have a selfie with you, please?"
Yeah, and you wouldn't dream of going up and going, "Hi, how did you afford to get over here then?"
Yeah.
And that's what they said to us all the time. It was like, "Are you travelling?" We're like, "Yeah." And that, well, how do you afford
school?
Yeah. How do you afford school?
Yeah. What does your son want to be?
Yeah. Is he married?
Yes. Is he married? And it didn't help that I walked around with a ring on my finger for some reason.
No, I think they were just lining you up, Sonny. For
Potential marriages.
Yeah.
Even though that the family gets all the money of the daughter, is it? Was it the?
Yes, the son gets the money.
The son gets the money of the daughter. Yeah.
The father of the daughter has to pay.
Okay.
The father of the son.
Yeah.
But that's
Which
just
is interesting. That's why nobody wants daughters.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Big thing in India is it's they prefer to have sons rather than daughters, because.
Oh, they still want daughters though.
Oh yeah, obviously, but it's a fact, you can't deny it.
Yeah.
We were told by many people in India that's how it is.
Yeah. They are a little bit nosy and a little bit cheeky, the Indian people. But I feel like I can say that now, because I've got lots of Indian friends. So, and they sort of admit it. They just know, what's going on, and they don't think there's anything wrong in asking that.
No.
Right. Second point.
Yep.
The other thing about India that wasn't true, apart from feeling safe, is what did you think about how dirty it was?
It's. I'd say the way you'd put it is it's dirty, but it's not as dirty as you would assume a country to be that is filled with 1.2 billion people. There's places in New Zealand that only have, the whole of New Zealand has 4.5 million people, and there's some places that are dirtier than any place in India, especially Florence in Italy.
Oh, you just said New Zealand though.
Sorry, I meant New Zealand, but then I changed my mind and I just remembered.
To the world, you mean?
Yeah, and how dirty Florence is, and how dirty London is in some places.
Yeah.
It's, obviously, it's going to be slightly dirty because it's.
When you
so
say
many more
Florence
people.
was dirty, do you just mean like just a section of it?
Was it Florence or was it where did we go? Naples.
Oh,
sorry.
yeah, Naples, yeah,
That's really dirty.
Yeah.
Because that was.
Yeah, we were driving along the road in Naples, and literally it was just bin bags full of rubbish.
I'm not
just
being
strewn
joking.
all
The
over
place where I
streets.
work in a place called it's a music shop, and behind the music shop is the car park. And I'm not being funny. There's corners of that place piled with bins and chairs and desks and bags of rubbish
Really?
that the council have to keep taking away. I came down the other day. I've got a video on my phone of a dog sitting in an armchair on top of a pile of rubbish. And I was just like, this could be, a bomb site.
I bet it wasn't a stray dog, was it?
I don't know.
No.
But then a woman got out of a car and got annoyed at me for filming the dog. But anyway, so yeah, the question was, is India dirty? Like, yes, it's going to be dirty, but at the same time,
But not
it's
everywhere.
clean. No, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
It's not as dirty as you would expect somewhere with that many people to be.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I thought. I honestly thought I was going to get off the plane.
Okay, Agra was dirty. Like, the further north you went, like that was pretty. Like there was piles of rubbish in the street.
Like fires and
Yeah,
things like.
but sorry to keep
No,
interrupting,
go
but
on.
Corella, and where did we stay in Corella?
Corella, Alapi.
Alapi.
Yeah.
Alapi was probably the cleanest place.
Oh, I loved Alapi.
Yeah.
I loved it there.
There was no rubbish there.
If ever you go to India, go to Kerala and just get on a boat and one of those river boats and just anyway, that's a different conversation. But yeah, I know what you mean, and I know about it's filthy and all the rest of it, but I don't know. I just didn't see it. Of course I saw it.
Yeah.
But I don't. That wasn't the predominant thing.
You just kind of get on with it, don't you?
Yeah, it wasn't like, oh my god. It's because there's so much else going on.
Yeah.
That you kind of don't. I don't know.
You just almost don't notice it because everyone else
Yeah.
doesn't notice it. Everyone else gets on with it, and you just kind of get on with it.
And
admittedly, yeah, I think the air quality somewhere in India at the moment is quite bad.
it probably is. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of burning rubbish. But I mean, it's just facts. You can't deny that it is facts that the air quality there is slightly worse, and there is quite a lot of rubbish. But it's not as bad as these people make it out to be.
I know.
Not everywhere is Slumdog Millionaire, because that film portrayed India in quite a bad light. It's not like that at all.
And I think that's what, like you said, going back to what you said as well, I think, you know what, I felt less safe when I went to that supermarket. We went to a supermarket in Montenegro.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
I'm
sorry, Montenegro people, but we went to Montenegro, didn't we? And honestly, I just needed...
I thought the cashier was going to kill me.
Yeah, I wanted to get out. It was like...
But that was because it was Eastern Bloc feeling.
I don't know. I don't know enough
Soviet
about
Union
politics to know about
feel.
things like that. But I just felt it felt very, didn't it, Bri? It felt hostile. It just felt like we weren't welcome.
Yeah.
And I think that's the big difference. Is everywhere that we went to in India. Maybe it was because we were spending money. Probably, I don't know. But everywhere felt like we were welcome.
Yeah, it did.
Nowhere did I think, oh God, we better get out of here.
Nowhere it
This isn't a
felt
good
like you
feeling.
can't get a cup of tea or a cup of chai or anything like that.
And you just turn up, like when we went for that walk, you were in bed and me and Brian went for a walk down this little lane and literally this little, little shack at the side of the street with a big cast iron kettle on this open flame, making chai tea, and loads of Indian people there, just like whether they were getting off their motorbikes and just drops the kids at school or whatever. There were just lots and lots of people there and not a Westerner in sight.
Yeah.
And he just looked at us and he pointed to the pot and he went, tea? Like, and we're like, yeah. And he just handed it over and it was just, I don't know. It just...
It's not what you think it's going to be.
It isn't, and I do get really defensive, but I sort of feel like I'm on the back foot because I don't know enough about it politically.
Yeah.
And I know that people are going to go, oh yes, but you don't know this,
It's a touchy subject, isn't it? Because like you can't. I don't know if you've got to have been there to be able to speak on it. You can't just make assumptions about it.
And you can only go off your own experiences, can't you? And it's not just like we were there for 2 weeks.
No, we were there for 6 or 7 weeks.
7 weeks, and it's not like we just went and stayed. We didn't stay in any flash hotels.
We stayed in one flash hotel, which was Agra.
Agra, yeah.
Yeah, but that was only for what, 2 nights of 7 weeks, so not very much at all.
And to be honest, Danny, you thought that was a flash hotel, but I think it was something like $100. Not even $100. What am I saying? It was $100 for the 2 nights for 4 of us.
Yeah.
So it's not like you can go to India and spend, you can spend like $500 a night on a hotel in India.
Can, that's what
and upwards.
Yeah.
What?
I was going to say that's what our grandma does. You know, she goes to nice hotels.
Well, she didn't spend that
She's
much.
probably going to hate us for saying that now.
She's going to be like, what?
Yeah, no, we didn't.
Then the old story about the frog in the toilet
Yeah.
will come out. We roughed it.
Yeah.
But no, so
The train.
yeah. Getting sick. What about getting sick? Because you're going to go to India, you're going to get sick, you're going to get delly belly, you're going to have diarrhea, blah, 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 blah.
One
blah.
time.
How many times did you get sick?
One time.
When was that?
Probably. Where's the place with the blue?
Jodhpur.
Jodhpur. Went to Jodhpur. We turned up really late at night, didn't we?
Yeah.
All the cafes were closed. Restaurants were closed.
Yeah.
Except for this one that was sitting up on a roof, which we
That's
should have
right.
known by the fluorescent blue lights that it was just. Remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Like you couldn't see anything because it was so blue.
We were so tired, weren't we?
And they just bought it. I always got palak paneer, which is the cheese curry.
Yeah, the spinach.
Spinach and cheese curry, and they brought it out, and the cheese was mouldy. And I knew straight away. I had a first bite, and I was like, "That's not right," but it was enough to.
What did they do? They sent it back?
Sent it back, and then we just didn't eat anything, did we?
I think we just went,
Yeah, we just left, and basically I woke up in the morning just I don't feel right. Made it about an hour, and then I was like, I have to go back to the room because I'm going to throw up. I just threw up the bathroom wall. It was horrible.
Tess was sick a few times, but that's because she wouldn't eat
But
anything.
Tess was sick on the same thing twice. Was the what's it called?
She kept eating fried rice.
Fried rice, wasn't it?
That's what I mean. You don't go to India and eat fried rice,
Fried
do you?
rice with chicken, and she threw up on me twice in the middle of the night because me and Tess always had the same room, and I just remember being woken up by just a wave of sick from Tessa. But I was really
Why am I
calm. I was like
laughing?
nice about it, but and then to make it worse, the frog jumped on me off the wall. It did.
I remember the next day she woke up and she came into our room. Well, this is when we were in Gokana,
Yeah.
wasn't it? And she came into our room and said, "Mummy, I was sick 3 times in the night, and there's a frog in our bathroom."
And there's a frog in our bath. It was awful because like I don't know how you knew, but it was a weird frog because you'd just be standing there in the bathroom and you'd be like, I bet it's back. I just bet it's looking at me. And you'd look and it like, where is it? Where is it? And then you'd look under the sink and it was sitting on the little bent pipe under the sink, just looking at
okay.
you. And I was like, oh no, I've got to get you out again now. So I had to always pick him up and throw him in the well. And somehow he got back every time.
Oh.
Whether it was a different one
He
or the
was
same
lonely.
one. We called him Kermit.
He was nosy.
He was really nosy. He'd standing there in the shower and he'd be on the wall.
Looking at your sick. So what have you been eating then, mate?
Oh, no, that's not good.
But no, so going back to being ill, I was ill once.
Yep.
I can't remember why. You know, we're not going to ask Brian because, of course, we're going to get the same old story, how he woke up every morning.
Check my body.
Checking my body. I want to check my body and see if I'm ill. So, no, we won't be asking Brian his experience.
Save that for the Christmas parties.
Yeah. But yeah, no, we weren't ill, so that was fine and didn't lose loads of weight, did we? Being sick and all the rest of it.
No.
And
Lose weight though.
yeah, we did lose weight.
It's only because we didn't want to eat lunch.
Yeah, because we weren't.
No, we could afford it. We just won't eat lunch today. We'll walk across the whole city, but we'll just leave lunch.
Oh, that's a nice cup of tea. So yeah, the food, the getting ill, the Indian people being unfriendly. What else? What else do you hear about India that's not good and that is just... Oh, you know what? When we went to see the Taj Mahal, I was so scared about going to see the Taj Mahal because I'd looked on all these blogs and things, read all these articles, and they're like, oh, you're going to queue for hours, you're going to get harassed by people who are selling stuff, you know, keep your possessions close to you, there's millions of pickpockets. I was actually really... That was the one
Scared.
place... I was
Yeah,
dreading
but then
it.
again, it was the you know the stories and stuff that was making you scared. You know,
Why did they do that?
I don't know because it wasn't true. That's what you were going to say, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it
Wasn't
is.
true. You felt safe. And
Yeah, I
it was,
did.
Well, there's no one there really.
I know, we went at a really quiet time.
Yeah, you just walked through the gates and it was just. We had like a bench. Imagine that. Imagine going to the Taj Mahal, one
I
of the 7
know.
wonders of the world, and having a bench to sit on by
Yeah.
yourself.
It was just gorgeous, wasn't it? It was just, it was calm.
It was green. It was
Yeah.
It's almost like you couldn't hear the city outside.
I know.
And then we went up on a really nice cafe and on top of a roof and
Yeah, took some pictures and stuff.
took some pictures on top, and you could see the Taj Mahal as you looked over the roofs. It was really nice.
And we made friends with this tuk-tuk driver, and he just said, you know, and again, if you told someone this story, they'd be like, oh, he's trying to get your money. He's just trying to rip you
Yeah.
off. He didn't.
No.
He's like, do you want me to take you for a ride? You know, where do you want me to take you? Back to your hotel? And we're like, no, can you just go and show us Agra? Just take, and he's like, where do you want to go? There's nothing to see that you'd want to see. And we're like, no, just take us to all the neighbourhoods. Just take us wherever you would go for a drive. Just take us. And he put his music on, didn't he? Do you remember?
He's like, do you like music? And then he played
Yeah, and he put his music on. It was dark outside. It was warm. And he had like little fluorescent lights around his tuk-tuk. And it was just, we were all sitting in the back and you were sitting in the front. And there's no sides to the tuk-tuk, obviously. And, it was just lovely. And you got to see a part of Agra that you would never normally see, would you?
Yeah, no, you wouldn't.
You know, and just people standing around chatting and dogs walking across the streets and cows walking across the streets. And, I just loved it.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I mean, we could
brings
talk.
me alive
We could
talking about
still
India.
talk about quite a lot. You know, for future podcasts, we can talk about the transport side and stuff, like English, specifically the tuk-tuks and the trains, like that train ride to Agra.
Yeah.
With the bunk beds and.
And shall we talk about? I know next time. Shall we talk about the overnight bus that we took, the sleeper bus with no toilets?
Nope, just buckets. That's already too much information. Yeah.
All right, so we'll leave it there then. But let's just, I just want to make sure that everyone is clear. If you're going travelling with kids or without, thank God Tessa's not here to have her little input.
Yeah.
Please don't dismiss India and don't listen to everything that you hear. And I'm not talking about the political stuff and all that, but just don't be thinking.
Just go and see it for yourself.
Yeah, just go and see it and just open
Don't be too
your
scared.
eyes. Yeah, and just. I don't want to be stereotypical and go, smell the smells and look at the lovely colours.
If 100 million people can live there every single day, you know, you can go and see it. It's not that bad. God, it's great. It's better than, you know.
The sun setting and all the dust and the
just go for the
ladies in
sunsets, you know.
Lovely bright clothes and the men in their brown shirts that they always wore.
Brown shirts.
Oh, do you know
and
what's really
jeans.
funny? Just before I go, do you remember that time when we were on the bus and that old man was stood there with his sarong on?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
literally, go on, tell.
Yeah. What, when the wind blew it up and we saw everything?
He's just standing there with his bare bum, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And he just scratched his bum.
Yeah.
And then pulled his sarong back down.
Too late.
Yeah. Very amusing for the ladies.
I just thought that was funny, but no, you'll never ever have me saying anything bad about India. Love it, absolutely, you know, and yeah. So that's all I've got to say. That's all I've got to say about that. All right then. Anything else to add, Sonny?
Nope, just go and see it for yourself and don't believe everything you read on the internet. Now I sound like my grandparents.
Yes,
don't believe everything you read on the internet.
Oh. And let's come back next time and talk about the
transport side of
India.
India.
Let's just tell the story about that bloody overnight bus because that was an experience.
Yep.
That really was an experience. Okay, so we're going to say goodbye. I'm going to pour myself some more tea and have a couple more skinny chocolate-dipped almonds.
Yep. Well, thank you so much for listening. If you did enjoy this episode, you can leave us a 5-star review on iTunes. You don't have to, but if you don't, you're a bad person. You don't like it when I say that.
No, I don't like it when you say that. Stop saying that. You're a bad person.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for listening, and we hope to see you next time on the It's a Drama podcast.
See you soon.
I've been Sunny.
Oh, are we doing this now?
Yep.
And I am Liz.
No, I've been Liz. That's what you've got to say.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So,
Why?
Ready? I've been Sunny.
And I've been Liz.
Yep. And we've been the It's a Drama podcast. See you next week.
Bye.
Thank you so much for joining us this week on the podcast. We have loved having you here.
If you guys could subscribe to us on iTunes and leave us a 5-star review.
Oh yeah, that would be nice.
That would be absolutely amazing. And make sure to share the podcast with your friends.
And if you'd like to hop over to the blog, find one of the little boxes that ask you to drop your email. I will send you a newsletter every week letting you know when we've released our new podcast. That will go straight into your inbox. So it's www.itsadrama.com.
All right, guys, enjoy the rest of your day, and we will see you next week for another podcast.
Look forward to it. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.